Have you ever carried the weight of watching others make painful choices? Welcome to HisTime365. Today is day 232, and we're reading Jeremiah 8 through 11, where deep sorrow meets God's truth and reminds us that healing begins when we stop ignoring what's broken. The Weeping Prophet. Lessons from Jeremiah 8 through 11. Have you ever felt like your heart was heavy, burdened by the choices of those around you? In today's exploration of Jeremiah chapters 8 through 11, we encounter a prophet whose tears and lament reflect the pain of a nation straying from its roots. Jeremiah, often called the Weeping Prophet, delivers messages filled with sorrow, yet rich with truths that can guide us to healthier choices in our own lives. Jeremiah opens chapter 8 with a poignant image of the people of Judah. God reveals to Jeremiah that the land is filled with sin, and the people have turned away from him. They speak of peace, yet their actions tell a different story. God laments, "There is no balm in Gilead," Jeremiah 8:22, indicating that there is no healing for their spiritual wounds. The people refuse to acknowledge their wrongdoing, choosing instead to ignore the truth that is right in front of them. As we move into chapter 9, the heartache deepens. Jeremiah expresses his sorrow for the people. He wishes he could weep day and night for them. God commands him to call out against the unfaithfulness of his people, emphasizing how they have turned from his teachings. He warns that they will face consequences for their actions, as their hearts are hardened like stone. They are lost in their ways, indulging in sin as if it were their daily bread. In our modern lives, we might see similar patterns. For instance, at work, we may ignore the values of honesty and integrity, opting instead for shortcuts that could jeopardize our careers. In our families, we might overlook the need for open communication, allowing misunderstandings to fester. Financially, we might chase after wealth at the expense of our values, neglecting the importance of generosity and community support. In terms of mental health, we could find ourselves avoiding the hard conversations that promote healing, preferring to numb pain rather than confront it. Chapter 10 continues this theme, where God contrasts the living God with the idols made by human hands. He urges the people to recognize the futility of worshiping false gods, saying they are vanity and the work of errors, Jeremiah 10:15. Jeremiah's words remind us that we too can fall into the trap of idolizing things that don't truly satisfy. Whether it's fame, possessions, or even our digital lives, we can end up focusing on what is ultimately meaningless. As we navigate our daily lives, we might idolize our social media presence, seeking validation from likes and followers rather than from genuine relationships. We can become so consumed with our digital lives that we forget the real connections that matter. Just as God called his people to forsake their idols, he invites us to examine what we truly value. In chapter 11, God instructs Jeremiah to remind the people of the covenant he established with them. He underscores the importance of obedience and the dire consequences of turning away from his commands. God's sorrow is palpable as he recognizes the disobedience of his people, saying, "They obeyed not." Jeremiah 11:8. The covenant was a promise of protection and blessing, but it came with the expectation of faithfulness. This chapter serves as a powerful reminder for us. Just as the people of Judah were called to remain faithful, we too are invited to uphold our commitments, whether to our families, jobs, or ourselves. When we choose to honor our commitments, we experience the blessings that come from being responsible and trustworthy. As we reflect on these chapters, we can draw practical lessons for our lives. For instance, in the workplace, we can prioritize integrity, ensuring that our actions align with our values. In our families, we can commit to open and honest communication, fostering a safe space for dialogue. Financially, we can choose to give back to our community, recognizing that true wealth is not found in accumulation but in generosity. In terms of our mental health, we can confront our struggles head-on, seeking help when necessary rather than masking our pain. Jeremiah's message may be one of lament, but it also offers hope. He reminds us that while we may stray, there is always a path back to healing and restoration. God's love is ever present, waiting for us to turn back to Him. Let us remember that true healing and fulfillment come from aligning our lives with His will. What are some modern-day idols that might distract us from our relationship with God? How can we encourage open communication in our families, reflecting the call for obedience found in Jeremiah? In what ways can we honor our commitments in both personal and professional settings?
Thanks so much for joining me today for HisTime365. Remember, today's reading is Jeremiah 8 through 11, so be sure to spend some time with those verses during your quiet time. Tomorrow, we'll be diving into Jeremiah 12 through 14, so feel free to read ahead if you like to prepare. If you enjoyed this time together, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so that you never miss a day on this journey. I'll see you back right here tomorrow for day 233. Until then, stay encouraged, and thank you for giving God His time today.